Matt, I can't believe it. Cam Johnson, professional basketball player, is back to being good. We're going to talk about it next year on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Network, your team every day. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode and being an everydayer, which will mean a lot here in just a little bit. My name is Ryan Blackburn, host here at Locked On Nuggets, also over at Mile High Sports and doing the Pickaxe and Roll podcast. He is Matt Moore, HP Basketball, over at the Action Network, Fansided, Denver Dig, Hardwood Paroxysm, you name it, he's got it. We are both always at the arena. We are both always covering the Denver Nuggets in person, getting the best possible analysis to you that we possibly can. And one of the things that Matt and I both shared was that Cam Johnson was going to start slow, and then Cam Johnson was going to be really good. Shocking, Matt. That will be something that we talk about in the second segment. But for now, let's talk about the Nuggets game that they had on Saturday night, second night of a back-to-back. It is funny. I do go back. We were both discussing after the last back-to-back, different team, different circumstances. The Nuggets may just not be a good team on second night of back-to-backs anymore. They're a little bit older, and then you put a little bit of pressure on them, Matt, and they suddenly, you lose the first night of the back-to-back and suddenly become a little bit more consistent on the second night.
I thought it was a really impressive performance, given that it was so. We use this word a lot, and I need to get comfortable using it, so I will say it. It was a very professional win. Like, they just created separation, and then the Suns hit them early, and I was like, "Yeah, this is probably going to be bad." And then Joker was like, "No, I'm not losing back-to-back games. Sorry." 26, 9, and 10 for Joker, plus 16. How about 7 of 7 from the field and 10 of 11 from the line, 2 of 2 from 3.
You guard him with a 6'4" guy, and he suddenly becomes really good.
Yeah, lost the turnover battle again badly, that's like a big problem with this group that actually I have some thoughts on. Probably Tuesday show. You and I should talk about it.
Yeah.
Just thought that it was a really good performance. Like, Jamal continues. So, like, Jamal wasn't hyper efficient in this game. 5 of 10 from 3 is pretty good.
Yeah.
24 points on 18 shots isn't like crazy. It was good though.
Fine.
And I like the way Jamal's playing. Like, I like his toughness. I like his, the burst that he's got. I like the looks that he's getting to. I like the way that Jamal is playing. Like, I just very much enjoy watching Jamal play right now. I thought, Spencer getting 16 points is obviously huge. Just him having a night where he's getting more comfortable. And that's going to help with the turnovers, and that's going to help with the offensive stuff, and that's going to make it harder to guard them. And like, Spencer's catching up to a new role, and that to me is really significant. That's a really cool story too. Obviously, Tim Hardaway Jr. was great in this game as well, just like a flamethrower again, 7 of 11 from 3-point range. I thought it was just that Suns team is tough. That Suns team battles. That Suns team brings a lot to the table, and I thought Denver did a really good job of just outclassing them.
I was one guy surprisingly impressed with was Dylan Brooks. I know I shouldn't be surprised because he's just a good player, but the way that he played, the way that he comported himself in that game was just, he brought it immediately and forced the Nuggets to play hard and forced the Nuggets to rise to their level. Wasn't doing anything dirty. It was just playing physical. And it was great. Like him helping Denver kind of rise to that level and be serious. And like you said, a professional win, one where they had to sort of recover from the first punch that Phoenix delivered. Looked really shaky initially, a whole bunch of turnover issues initially. Some of the passes that Jokic is throwing, that Murray's throwing, trying to get guys like Spencer Jones, Peyton Watson consistently involved. Zeke Naji, there's some bad turnover stuff with Zeke too, but it was still, I think, and although Zeke did not have a turnover last game, I want to make that clear. Still just feels like Denver is In this one, 8.5-man rotation. They're still trying to figure some things out, but the bench guys come in off of there. I want to give a major shout out to Bruce Brown, who had 10 assists off the bench and 6 in the fourth quarter alone. Also, Tim Hardaway Jr. carried them in the first half, did some really great things. They know how to play. They know in these situations what to do, and they didn't get rattled by the physicality and the initial punch that Phoenix threw out there. If anything, it tired Phoenix out early.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It's interesting because teams coming off of cup play are actually really like one of the reasons that this was interesting is favorites who are on a back-to-back after playing in the cup do terribly. Is the reason why like I bet Phoenix, because I was like, oh, this trend, like teams don't do well here, and I thought they would sit guys, which again, Joker's just like, nope, I'm good. Your wrist is broken. Don't care. I'm all right. Gonna play through it. Can't complain. No one listens. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. So I feel like it was a kind of a really tough spot. You mentioned kind of the short rotation, but most of that is just Julian. Like that, most of that I think is like because like Julian's gonna play when he comes back.
I think so. I do. I'm curious. Like one of the things was Zeke was in the rotation in the first half and then was out of the rotation in the second half. They went with 8 guys in the second half as opposed to 9 because I think they really needed this one. They wanted to keep it simple, and the way that that everything worked out, Spencer Jones got into foul trouble early in that third quarter, and Tim Hardaway came in early for him. So what do? They bring back in Spencer Jones at towards the end of the third quarter and use him, and then just kind of ran with it. It made a lot of sense. I liked what they did. But you're right. Like I do want to see Julian when he comes back. I do think that he's really good in these kinds of situations where you just need a burst. You just need some extra oomph in some of these situations. And Tim Hardaway definitely gave it to them.
I'm going to go ahead and spoil it. We can talk about it more on Tuesday because I can't hold anymore. Zeke Naji has the worst on-off points off of turnovers mark on the Nuggets. That's not his individual points off of turnovers. It's how does the team do? When Zeke is on the floor, it's the highest.
Yeah.
Julian has the second lowest on the team. So that's small minutes, and you can look at that. I do think that Julian just is like, he's a guard. He knows how to dribble, right? His handle's not amazing. He's not an incredible playmaker, right? I know all the weaknesses of Julian, but I feel like with where their rotation is at, they need to play lower mistake players as much as possible.
Yeah.
That to me is like a lot of this. And
he's always been a relatively low mistake guy, like from a stats perspective too. And like Tim Hardaway's like that too. And one of the reasons you just fire the ball up, man, you just shoot, like you just shoot. And I know there were a lot of folks, especially when Tim was going through a little bit of a shooting slump. You're shaky. It's okay. He's definitely regressing. How much of this is real? How much of the early stuff was real? But Tim's not going to change who he is. And that's a good guy for Julian, I think, to learn from, like, because you just need to get hot and you need to simplify the game sometimes. And like, you're not going to get hot every game, but in the games that you do, like Tim really helped them in this past one. And it was one of the big reasons why they even were ahead in that first half, despite the fact that a lot of guys didn't really play that great at the beginning.
Mark Williams isn't going to change anything about Joker. He's not going to be the difference in a win and a loss here. I will say the Nuggets have gotten them twice without Mark Williams.
Yeah.
And if you're like, why does that matter? Their record with Mark Williams starting is so phenomenally better. Like they looked like absolute trash. And Ryan was like, you thought they were going to be good in the media room. And then they got Mark Williams in the starting lineup and moved Royce O'Neal to power forward, which gave them more spacing, and they were good. And then Ryan's like, you said they were going to be good. And so
I don't like the Suns.
Yeah, I know. They were at a bad spot, but so was Denver, down 2 starters on the road, back to back on the road. Good win. Good
win. You take it where you get it. Like, I mean, if it had been a 5-point win, it still would have been a good win. That's the important thing. And comment here, Tim's defense has been surprisingly good. I agree. Like, this has not been the way that he's been described to me in previous destinations was he's a drain on your defense. And maybe that's because Denver has other weaknesses that teams can pick on pretty consistently, but Tim has not been the drain on the defense so far this year. He's been pretty smart. He's just a smart basketball player. So
100%.
Nice to see. Okay. Let's take a break. When we come back, main segment of the show. I wanted to get this off of my chest and talk about Cam Johnson because dude has been really good. And there's a lot of numbers that I think are very indicative of where he's going for this team. We'll be right back here on Locked On Nuggets. All right. The holiday season is one of the best times in sports. Bowl games, big basketball matchups, playoff pushes, it's all happening at once. And while we're making choices every day, one of the most fun places to make the right call is PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the easiest way to get in on daily fantasy. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections. Lock in your lineup and you're in the game. It's simple, fast, and available in 45 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. PrizePicks has added an extra layer of excitement to the holiday sports schedule. Creating a lineup takes less than a minute, and the app takes a whole new process and makes it smooth and intuitive. Early payout feature is also a great bonus. When your lineup starts strong, you may get the option to cash out early. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. All right, back at it. Locked On Nuggets. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day, folks. We are here and we are going to discuss Cam Johnson, who, Matt, I don't know if anybody's told you, he's shooting 40% from 3 on the season now, 40.8% from 3, 47.3% from the field, 85% from the line. The counting stats are still pretty low, 11.2 points, 3.4 rebounds, 2.2 assists. But the Nuggets, as we've talked about, playing pretty good basketball when Cam Johnson is on the floor, and he has been an individually better player over the course of these last few weeks.
Last 5 games, 15-4-4, 28-6-1, 18-6-1, 25-4, 9-5-1. Like, doing the thing. Let's see, stocks here. 1-3-1-1-2. Like, doing the stuff. Like, he's just doing the stuff. Now, Cam will tell you, and he was pretty honest about this the other night, that he's like, there's still like a lot of the adjustment thing. Yeah. And it's a comfort thing. And like, he had to settle in. You know, he's probably going to have like, he'll have another bad stretch, you know? And so here's a good question, Ryan. They were so good with MPJ last year in the Joker minutes. And I'm pretty sure they're not as good in the Joker Cam minutes so far.
I'll go look it up.
I struggle with this because it's one of those where it's like, I think the numbers matter. I think the evidence matters. But I will just tell you, I feel more confident in this team. Like, I just do. I just feel more confident. MPJ is such a threat, but there are so many ways, and there are these little things. Like, I tried showing somebody the other day, like a play where it's like, hey, here's like a thing that he does that's not going to show up in the box score. And then, like, it just wasn't persuasive. Like, all of the stuff that I want to kind of show about what Cam does that doesn't illustrate his impact and how good he is at these little things defensively are just going to get like ramrodded by Team Ramrod by the box score stuff and what they accomplished with MPJ and how good the numbers were. So I don't know. I think, look, I'll say this. I still think the jury is out on whether or not they're going to be better with Cam than they were with MPJ. What we do know, though, is if we look at the aggregate of what they were able to accomplish, I don't know how you can argue that they're not better with Jonas than they were before. I don't know how you can argue that they're not better with Jonas and THJ and like this revamped bench. And yeah, they could have added Bruce and THJ anyway because they're vet men's. So
that's an important distinction that I think a lot of there are Cam defenders who are like going too far. Yeah, they could have added 2 minimum guys, even with Michael Porter Jr. guys. Like right. That would have also been a thing they could have done, but they couldn't have had Jonas, and Jonas has helped them. Like, he hasn't been perfect in these games, but he has been really good.
So, you know, what has impressed you the most about watching him?
Before I answer that, the Jokic Cam Johnson minutes two-man lineup NBA.com. It's at +10 net rating, so not great. Not as good as the Michael Porter group, which was like +15 with Jokic and MPJ last year. But I mean, Jokic Murray's +15.7, Jokic Watson's +16.6, Aaron Gordon Jokic +21.1, Jokic Christian Brown +17.4. So like they're still getting a lot of.
Do you know what the crazy one I found is?
What?
Cam's played 65 minutes without Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Guess the net rating.
I'm gonna say +3.
26.9. Yeah, 65 minutes. But they have a 129.3 offensive rating, 102 defensive rating with Cam Johnson on the floor without Nikola Jokic.
Do you know how bad the Michael Porter without Jokic minutes were last year? Like, it was ridiculously horrible. So just flipping that, just turning that into something positive, and not just positive so far, it's been actually really good. I think that that's super encouraging, first and foremost. Is it going to hold up over a long season? Probably not. But like, the early returns have been that Cam Johnson has been more malleable than what Michael Porter was for Denver. And Mike is doing everything that you want him to do in Brooklyn, including them losing games. But I do think that's like what Cam is doing. It's taken a little bit to adjust, but what he's doing right now is exactly what you're hoping for as a Nuggets fan. It's exactly what you want to see in just the all-encompassing impact.
Cam Johnson was eating Najee on the floor is +8.4. I'm ready to give Cam Johnson MVP. I don't know what else you need to see there.
That's pretty sick. What's the next step for him, do you think?
God, that's a good question. Not having layups hit the underside of the rim because he's going too fast off the DHO would be a good start.
I like that.
That one drives me nuts. When he gets blocked by the rim, that drives me nuts. Not having turnovers that make Joker want to die.
There have been some of those that I will say that's a pretty visceral reaction that Jokic likes to give when Cam makes
So we were talking about this in the group chat, and I want to bring it to the show.
Okay.
Joker is inordinately bothered by Cam mistakes. And I don't know why. And I do think it's worth talking about. Like, not talking about. I think it's worth noting. I think it's worth just being like, hey, like, I've watched Nikola Jokic react to a lot of human beings across his time. Yeah. And nothing will ever beat his reactions to Michael Porter Jr.'s decisions, ever. It was comedy every night. But Joker's reactions to Cam's mistakes have been a lot more demonstrative than, say, Tim Hardaway Jr. or
Bruce Brown,
right? Like, his reactions to those plays are different, and there's things that Joker is going to know that I'm never going to understand. So there's things about those. He doesn't care if you throw a bad pass. He cares about like the other stuff that goes into it. Like, that's what goes. So when he makes that mistake of just throwing that pass out of bounds, which Cam was killing himself out. I will say this, like, Cam is killing himself for every single mistake. Like, he's very hard on himself right now. And that's honestly like I think a pretty impressive thing that he's actually been able to perform, because I thought maybe it would get worse. Like, that's a tough situation to be in when you're hard on yourself and you're in this new situation. It doesn't make it easier. Like, you just need to play free and not care. You're supposed to basically be too dumb to notice. And so I just think that's kind of interesting.
We're getting some of these comments here, expectations, and Jokic probably has high expectations for Cam Johnson as somebody who is a cerebral player, somebody who does see the floor and court maps really well and does all the things that I think Jokic wants a player to be able to do. That sometimes when you see some of these mistakes, it gets frustrating. You can definitely like go through the process, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't know why it has been so stark. He never gets frustrated with Jamal that way. That's one thing that you can say about their two-man game and how long they have played together. I have never really seen him have a visceral reaction to a decision that Jamal Murray makes, which is kind of interesting because you would think over 10 years that something would have happened. But like, it is fascinating that sometimes like he's got high expectations for Cam. Maybe it's, hey, we're trying to get into something that is not the Jokic Murray 2-man game, and it's immediately a reason to push it back in the other direction. So maybe there's something to that. I don't know.
Are you worried at all that you have just jinxed the crap out of Cam and he's now gonna go back to being single digit Cam?
No, and the reason why is because you've already taken away multiple starters from the Nuggets rotation, and I just think the burden of expectation here is too high. It's there's too many opportunities, there are too many reps, there are too many like decisions and plays and moments that you have to run through in order to just figure it out. And I think a lot of the early season stuff was just, there's a small sample size, this is early in the process, and then you've got Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown that are also pretty good, especially in the roles that they are playing. And so if you could throw the ball to Aaron Gordon half the time late in the shot clock, then that's a one less possession that Cam Johnson gets kind of operating within the flow. So now they're working in Peyton Watson and Spencer Jones, who are just lower usage players overall. And I'm just not surprised that Cam has figured this out during this moment because there's just too many opportunities here.
We're like 2 weeks away from CB being back, right? Two-ish?
No, it's going to be longer than that. I think we're probably in the 3 to 4 week territory for both of them.
Christmas, maybe.
Yeah, it was the Christmas or early on in that 7-game road trip.
I wouldn't be surprised if CB comes back a little bit early. He's young. Those guys bounce back quicker.
Yeah, I saw the reevaluate in 6 weeks and then put, okay, let's wait 6 weeks, but we'll see. Maybe they get to reevaluated early. That would be great. Denver could absolutely use him back. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about this upcoming week, folks. Denver's got 4 games, I believe, in this upcoming week. Should be fun, should be interesting. We'll talk about it next here on Locked On Nuggets. All right. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Lots of different places to jump into the game tonight with the Broncos and the Commanders. Ultimately, Denver got the win. If you had that money line, you were definitely sweating, though. I'm not surprised about that. But hey, never in doubt, Broncos fans, never in doubt. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. We are also brought to you today by Doer. So make sure to pull up my, here we go. Oh, Matt's muted.
I had these jeans on. I tried them out. I did the whole thing where it says that you can rewash them because of their special material. It's true. I could not believe them. They are like fresh after being worn. They were so comfortable. I was at the arena in my Doer jeans. They were incredible. Do the read.
Look good too, Matt. Always appreciate it. Always love it when Matt jumps in. The Doer jeans are like, that's a testimonial that you're always going to get here at Locked On. They are amazing. Have 5 times the stretch of traditional denim, made with Cool Max that regulates your body temperature, wicks moisture away, keeps you cool and comfortable as temperatures change. They're designed to look great and stay comfortable all day, no matter what you're doing. Simply put, Doer makes the world's most comfortable pants without having to sacrifice style. And trust me, once you try these, they'll be your go-to. You can check out Doer in store here in Denver. It's at 2621 Larimer Street. Pick up a pair for yourself or as an amazing holiday gift. Mention our promo code LOCKEDONDenver in store to get 15% off your first order, or check them out at shopduer.com/LockedOnDenver for 15% off. That's shopdoer.com/LockedOnDenver. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. Back at it, Locked On Nuggets. Thank you so much for tuning into the show, folks. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for being an everydayer, as always. Okay, let's discuss this upcoming week, Matt. To me, this is one where, like, the reason why I wrote it's an important week is this is one where Denver could, in theory, go 4-0. They could do it. There's no reason why they couldn't, but these one-game homestands followed by a 3-game road trip to the East Coast are absolutely prime for overlooking. Absolutely prime for it, where Denver doesn't necessarily bring their best stuff, doesn't necessarily focus in on an opponent, and then they get got like they've already got in 3 of the last 3 home games. Like, that's just how it happens. So Denver's got Dallas tonight or on Monday night, and then we'll kick it off with a road trip after that. Matt, what are you looking for on this week?
Dallas defense is pretty tough. AD is back. Cooper had a really great breakout game the other night. Mavericks kind of hit their low point and are starting to come together, I think, a little bit. I still don't think that they're very good. I think Denver should win that game by margin, but they're a little bit sneaky. The Pacers one is a trap. That team is healthier and has started to turn the corner. Yeah. Rick Carlisle, you give him enough time and he's going to figure out how to get a basketball team to play better. They haven't given up on the season, which is pretty impressive considering how bad it got. But it was really, like, most of it really was just injuries. And they've gotten Nembhard back and they've gotten Mathurin back. They're still without Nesmith, but, like, they're playing better basketball and they're finding ways to win. That Pacers game is an absolute trap. Be on the lookout for that one. The Hawks game is not a trap, but they're a legitimately good team without Trae Young. Like, they're a legitimately good team. Jalen Johnson is balling. He's going to have a monster game in that game. Like, they don't, without AG, they do not have the guys to guard him. Like, I love Spencer versus him. That should be a really fun matchup, but Jalen's going to, like, Jalen had 40 tonight, double overtime, but he had 40 tonight. He's going to have a really big game in that one. Hawks force a lot of turnovers with that defense. That's problematic. Like, you got to keep the turnovers down in this one. Like, that's something to really keep an eye on. I need to put more respect on Charlotte than I do. I hate their culture. I hate their makeup. I don't like their team. I just don't like them, but they're very talented. With LaMelo on the floor, they actually have a +4 net rating. They win their minutes with LaMelo on the floor. I know. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so he's back. Brandon Miller's back. Kalkbrenner is actually secretly pretty good. He'll get cooked by Jokic, but he's pretty good.
Not a secret. That dude's as efficient as Jokic this year. It's crazy.
Sion James, also a sneaky impact player. Like him a lot. And obviously Knipple. Like, Knipple can torch you. They're going to need, like, hey, all those corner 3 breakdowns that they had in that Spurs game, they're going to need to do better than that because LaMelo puts a lot of pressure on you. Now, LaMelo takes a lot of bad shots, but he kind of does that. I'll be honest with you. I'm not expecting 4-0. This smells to me like a 3-1 2-2 week.
Should Nuggets fans and the Nuggets themselves be disappointed if it is 2-2?
I mean, it's your right as a fan to be disappointed. Like, I'm not going to be, and these are not, look at it. You lost to the Pacers. They have 4 wins.
Yeah.
You lost to the Hornets. You lost to the Mavericks, right? I just kind of know, like, the tempo of the season and how these things kind of go. If they went 4-0, I wouldn't be shocked because I think that they will respond and they will get better and they will play better. And they can also, like, they could play pretty well in 2 games and then Cam Johnson or Jamal goes for 40. Like, Cam goes for 30 or Jamal goes for 40, or they get an outlier performance, and that's enough to lift them. But I do not expect them, with where they are at right now, especially defensively, to go 4-0 this week.
I think that's fair, especially just there's a lot of teams that are putting a lot of pressure on you, especially from a perimeter standpoint. The Hawks, I think, are a very dangerous one for that as well. I mean, obviously, they're just straight up winning games and being really good. So this is going to be really interesting. It's going to be a very interesting stretch for Denver, I think. Dallas is one that, I mean, if it'll test whether Denver can score on anybody, because they haven't faced a lot of great defenses. I don't think the only one is Houston. And yeah, they scored 112, but I thought that they played pretty well offensively that game regardless. This will test them in terms of how much Jokic can control, how much they can actually commit to the offensive end. And I'll be curious to see how they handle it.
Clip Farmer says, would OKC go 4-0 with the same schedule? He's also got a Robinhood cartoon avatar, which I appreciate. And Flosoj, who's very excited about the Broncos, as he should be. It's fun to win games. The real question is who's going to beat the Thunder. So am I being too easy on him by saying I just don't think you should measure yourself against OKC? Like,
so let's frame it this way. Is OKC an all-time great team?
Yeah.
Are they an all-time great regular season team?
Yes.
Are the Nuggets an all-time great regular season team?
No.
So then you probably shouldn't be measuring it against them. Like
OKC. And I think that's the thing is like everyone kind of wants Denver to be like OKC wins 75 and Denver wins like 69. Like I don't think people expect for Denver to be better than OKC, but they do expect them to be in the same regular season class. And so many things have to go right for you to do that.
Yeah.
Like so many things have to go right for that to happen. And if you're like, yeah, but look at the Thunder, they're without J. Will and they're without Chet. So one of the interesting things I did this on Buckets tonight was we were looking at EPM loss to injury versus cash loss to injury. And OKC is very high when you look at EPM loss to injury, but extremely low in loss to cash because J. Will and Chet's extensions haven't kicked in. But the implication of that is that they have the extra money to spend elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that's like a big key here is like OKC is still paying a lot of these guys on rookie contracts.
Yeah.
And it's a credit to them for drafting and building. OKC is the best team in the league. OKC is the best team in the league by margin. OKC, if you're like, like I cover the NBA, I have to say like OKC is the odds on favorite to win the NBA title. They should win the title. I'm just telling you that I'm not at a point of like, oh no, Denver's definitely not going to beat them. Right. Like Detroit. It's not going to, I love Detroit. Love them. They're not going to be OKC.
Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to think.
Shout out Cavs. Shout out Locked on Cavs.
Yeah, Locked on Cavs this year. If the Cavs will figure out like how to play basketball again, I loved them last year. I thought they had a chance versus them, but I don't know what they're doing this year. But like most of these teams I would just be automatically no. The only teams that I am legitimately like not an automatic no, you're not beating the Thunder are the Rockets and the Nuggets. That's it. And that's the most you can hope for. Top 3 seed, get 40 wins before 20 losses, rack up a good point differential, get rest for the guys so they're healthy, and tip the ball. That's like, otherwise you're going to be frustrated and disappointed all season because OKC they have too many redundancies.
Here's where I'll give Denver credit. They haven't lost 2 games in a row all year. Like this was a problem last year where even when it was not just that they were to lose games, like multiple games in a row, it's that they couldn't even string together multiple wins in a row early in the season. They were just so up and down, and like you never knew what the effort and the focus level was going to be from night to night.
150 somehow.
Oh my God. Like, but 14-5 is a far cry from where they were last year. And they've done all the right things. They have beaten, like they've beaten teams with their bench. They've beaten teams with their starters. They've beaten teams by Jokic just being amazing. They've beaten teams with Jamal Murray being amazing. Like they have won in a variety of different ways here. And the progress is real. Like they have taken steps forward. And so, yeah, if they go 3-1, I'm not going to bat an eye. You'll just have to talk about it and be like, yeah, they suck that they lost, but that's it.
The Mavericks game is the biggest one. If they lose another home game, I'm going to be pretty annoyed.
So will David Adelman, because we'll have to ask him about these stupid questions. and he's not going to be happy about it. Be like, I can't believe we're going on an East Coast road trip again.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, I think that is going to do it for this episode of Locked On Nuggets. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the show. Let us know down in the comments what you think Denver's going to go this week. 4-0, 3-1, 2-2, 1-3, 0-4. Don't be a doomer like me. Everybody, have a great week.
Hey, by the way, good job by Ryan being positive today. This is a good positive episode from Ryan Blackburn.
He's capable of growth, just like the Nuggets. Everybody, have a great day. We'll talk to you guys very soon.